Hello and welcome to the episode number 7 NE Wrestle podcast. Holy crap, guys, it's Manstedt week. But before you really get ahead of ourselves and do all that kind of stuff, because everybody wants to talk about that, we do have to go back and recap some holiday stuff. But we also want to say, as always, thank you to the legend, the myth. I said that in the wrong order. Joe Schleckabeer and Insure Nebraska, our sponsor. We love you.
The legend, the myth, the man. Hot start.
Hot start.
Thank you,
Things
Joe.
are steaming here.
Insure Nebraska. Hit them up. Get a quote.
So we're gonna jump right. We're just gonna jump right in, I suppose. Kind of talk about the holiday. We're half the teams, roughly kind of got back at it over the holiday. There's a lot of teams that were off. Didn't compete over the break as well. They're starting to get their feet wet again this week with all the tournaments going on. We'll jump into that here in a little bit too. Obviously, we're seeing some weight changes take place already over some holiday tournaments. So people are on the move. There's going to be a lot of things and a lot of moving parts probably here in the first few weeks of January from what we saw prior to break. So obviously, with some of that stuff, we had the Bennington duels going on over the break where Lincoln East won that. Drew, do you have anything you want to talk about that between Lincoln East and Bennington? I know that they had some video clips going out.
Yeah, no, the duel ending was pretty cool. The Lincoln East kid jumped in and avenged a loss to win the duel for Lincoln East over Bennington. So, kudos to them. That's an exciting duel. I think Omaha Bryan was missing a few guys, but they still did pretty well there. Bennington always puts on a great event, but yeah, I mean that finals duel was pretty dang exciting, and shout out to Cade Mulligan for getting it done for Lincoln East. Got to be a special moment for him.
Yeah. So then, kind of just quickly going over Class B teams of the week. We had 2 of them this week. Mm-hmm. York wins its home dual tournament.
York could have been probably team of the week almost every week, with the exception of the week they lost a duel to Bennington, but they've won every tournament event that they've been in. So they won their home invite to start the year at York, and that was over like Beatrice and Waverly and some Class A schools. It was good. It was a good start to the year for them. They won in Kansas, they won the Blair duels, and they won the Duke duels on their home mats again. Their schedule gets significantly tougher going into Manstedt. They're going to Northwest, and I know Scott's there, and then they have the Lexington Invite. So that their January is really, really tough. But shout out to York as far as winning those tournaments. It's not easy to do, especially against some of the competition they faced. They beat Waverly to win that. Waverly's kind of on the upswing right now. I think they beat Waverly maybe by 10 or 11. Waverly beat Beatrice over the break in a duel, and I mean, kind of like a whoa moment. We undervalue Waverly. They haven't been at full strength. You make the state finals in football, it takes a little while, right? So
yeah,
Waverly did the dang thing there against Beatrice. So we're kind of seeing what I feel like in Class B now on the dual side of things is kind of a clear top core of teams. And that would be obviously Scott, who had a phenomenal win over Millard South, who had just beaten Bennington the night before. So Scott is going to be your front runner pretty heavily, it seems like, in Class B. Bennington's right there. York, Waverly now as far as the dual team goes. And then Beatrice probably kind of rounds out that top 5, at least for now.
Mm-hmm. What are your thoughts on, your other team of the week with Milford? They knocked off, David City, knocked off Syracuse, Syracuse as a dual team is obviously like they put out quality kids all up and down the lineup. So was that a surprising result for you?
Yes. Yeah. So credit to Milford. Even the duel against David City was pretty one-sided there. The Syracuse duel was very close. I'll be the guy who asterisks it a little bit. Brock Goebel wasn't in the lineup for Syracuse, and that probably would have been the difference maker. But I mean, you have to give a shout out to Milford. I mean, and Syracuse too, honestly. But they're two of the smallest teams in Class B this year. Milford definitely really hasn't been on the radar to make the state duels, and with those 2 wins, they really are. Like Syracuse is ranked number 6 in duels right now. Basically, I said the clear top 5 in B, 6 through 8 at least. Obviously the points and schedule points, they're all going to play a factor here, but at least in my mind, and like even if you want to go 6 through 10 in the rankings, those spots are very undecided at this point. We had Waverly outside of the top 10, so
Yeah,
that'll have to change. But like Plattsmouth is still a solid dual team. Gretna East, Elkhorn North. There's all these teams in Class B who have like a solid lineup, and it's really hard to kind of put them side by side and say, oh yeah, this team's for sure the favorite. So it should be exciting at least to see who gets those last few spots. And I wish I could say I could make predictions on that one. I really can't.
yeah. Regarding Class C, Thayer Central, they won the Sutton duels on the other side of the break, but technically it was after week 3. So that was a Tuesday dual tournament right after week 3 was over. And then Loganview, they won the inaugural Takema Herman duels, which we said on the previous episode, that's Takema Herman's like first event hosted at their school, like aside from a district. Like that's crazy to me. But anyway, Loganview won that in a close duel with Arlington, who actually Arlington did have a dual win over St. Paul at the Kearney Catholic duels on week 3. So there's some kind of interesting, positioning in terms of like common opponent in terms of a dual team. But obviously with duels, it's always about matchups, So like when you saw the Wood River duels this last week, you saw Raymond Central beat Aquinas, and then Gibbon beat Raymond Central and Broken Bow, but Gibbon got beat by Aquinas, and like it was just it's always how matchups play a part in the dual atmosphere. So it's always interesting, always a changing landscape. And then finally, Class D, Plainview won the Shelby Rising City Invite just by a handful of points over SCOTUS. And obviously Burwell and SRC were in the field there, and so great
like,
holiday tournaments.
It was like half the number 1 ranked guys in Class D were there, right?
Yeah,
something
I think so.
Like that. And now Plainview, after that tournament, now they're the new number 1.
Yes,
in Class D.
They are the new number 1 in Class D. So, and then obviously like there's been some shuffling around, like the Newman Grove Invite, all the hoopla about Cedar Catholic Battle Creek. They were there. Boone Central, Darren Dosler gets a big win over Brady Hochstein, and now he becomes the proverbial number 1 essentially at 165 in Class C. Just a lot of cool action over the holiday break. So, yeah. We are joined here by Sean. I guess we didn't even talk.
I'm here too. Hey guys,
here. Like he's also here.
He's been on before.
Yes, but we did not reintroduce
also,
him.
Chopped liver. Sorry, Sean.
Yeah, that's fine. My ADD is kicking in, so I'm able to think about 19 other things while you guys are talking.
So there's obviously really awesome girls action this week over the holiday, highlighted probably by the Winnebago Invite. Can you give us some of the things that stood out to you over that tournament?
Yeah, for sure. Winnebago is definitely the highlight. Huge tournament, only probably to be outshadowed in the regular season by the one coming up this week. But things that stood out at Winnebago, it was a great chance, I think, to see where some of these girls that haven't had a chance to meet up throughout the year, where they really land in the rankings. Some of these freshman girls that pop in and they're going to be pretty good, but you don't know how good yet. They got some of their first opportunities to really prove themselves, and they did. Team-wise, Lexington, man, they didn't have a perfect tournament by any means. They probably feel the same way. I'm sure that there are things they want to go back to the drawing board and work on, but they found a way. They wrestled for each other. They put bunch of girls on the podium. I think they just had, I believe, just the one champ was Nahara, but it was the last match of the day. Goes out, gets a pin, seals up a team title. Real narrow win over Millard South. So impressive showing for them on the team front. Should note that Millard South didn't have Millie Jensen in the lineup, one of their big hammers. Everybody's without a person or two or three at a tournament like this over the holidays. Maybe some girls aren't back from traveling or recovering from injury, so it's hard to say exactly how things shake up if everybody has a full lineup, but Lexington obviously is still right into there, a terrific team. Couple of things that really also hit individual, some weight changes stuck out. JCC has two studs in the lightweights, and they both dropped. Alejandra Reyes went down from 105 to 100, and it's hard to call her an outright favorite, but I have her ranked number one. Her and Missoula from Auburn are both very, very good wrestlers, but that changes that bracket in a hurry. And then just above that at 105, her teammate Haley True dropped down, where she's a title contender. She did drop a match in overtime to Battle Creek's Aisley Hoff. They probably will get a chance to see each other again here, hopefully this week. But they're two of the top three right there. And then another big one from Westside, Addie Grazer was down at 155. She was actually there at Wonder Woman tournament down in Missouri, where she made the finals. But getting down to 155 really changes that weight class in a hurry too for Class A. She picked up a huge win in the finals over Class B number one Feeney. Other big matches, because there were a few. We saw number one versus number one at 130. Kaylin Lyons and Grace Drucke of Westview for Kaylin Lyons and O'Neill, Grace Drucke. Heck of a match. It was 4-2 for Lions, really close. We missed Drucke on the mats last year with injury, so getting her back and kind of seeing how it doesn't look like she's missed much of a step was fun to see. And then the other big one at 135 is a 1 versus 2 Class B. Jordan Campbell is obviously a stud, right? And she's going to continue to be. And she wrestled Rylan Hansen from Stanton, was kind of in control of the match early. Had Hansen in some trouble, but Hansen's able to get off her back, get a reversal. And then I'm not positive. It was kind of hard to see from the view if she bundled an arm underneath or, like ran a butcher, just kind of ran her over, but put her on her back, picked up the fall and a huge win there. And, those are some of the biggest highlights, but really, really great tournament. It's always an awesome event. Kale, you got a chance to go see it. So what are your thoughts?
Yeah. So, man, it's my first time ever being at just a girls only invite. And I've been telling a handful of people this because the experience itself is worth talking about. I was probably one of the more skeptical people as it started in terms of I didn't know how quickly girls wrestling was going to improve. You just don't really know exactly how fast it's going to take off. And it's farly exceeded my expectation. And seeing this tournament in play and being there covering it for us and seeing the level of wrestling that there is, if you're not on board with girls wrestling yet, you are seriously missing out. I just found myself mat side, shooting clips and taking some pictures of some matches that were, and then you kind of have an idea of rankings and all that kind of stuff. And my gosh, I just left with a big smile on my face. I was satisfied with the entire environment. The fans are great. The energy from teammates and everything is fantastic. And so I told Drew this on the phone over the weekend, when I was cleaning up the other gym before they started finals to kind of break down some of our kits and stuff, the Winnebago coach Tranmer, came in and got me, and he said, "Hey, we're getting ready to start the finals, just so you know, so you can get kind of ready and in position." So as I walked back in the other gym, the entire 3 mats had teammates from everybody's team laying on their stomachs mat side, they're just front row seats. I was just you almost get kind of taken aback by it. Whoa, what the heck? You're not used to seeing all of that mat space and floor space taken up, right? So fantastic event. Like, I can't wait. I honestly can't wait for Thursday to see the next girls event, just because now I kind of have a better idea of who some of these competitors are. You kind of hit on Lyons and Druki. Like, I was right there, shooting that match, and like, you didn't see that type of action 3 years ago, 2 years ago, like, and it's a completely different type of athlete now from 3 years ago too. Like, the better athlete isn't just the one that's guaranteed to win. Like, you've got to have some technique in your arsenal to be able to be adequate at wrestling, at girls wrestling now too. So I don't know. That's kind of my thoughts. Like, fantastic event. Like, I'm super excited for where it's going. So, Drew, you got any thoughts on it? Quick.
Oh man, I mean, yeah, you guys kind of nailed it. Winnebago, phenomenal event, great day of wrestling. We're gonna get that again, maybe even a little bit more. Divided up by class at Manstedt this week. Break went by fast, guys. I mean, I don't, we can stare in the rear view a little bit. Scott, the big win over Millard South, Ziola and Danzy was like an instant classic with that late duck under to win. Scott's got a pretty big duel this week. Do we want to kind of dive into that one a little bit? We got Scott and Prep coming up. But before we do that, I guess we should probably, at least I want to, and I think we all do probably, extend our condolences to the Manili family for the loss of Todd Manili, who, for I guess probably lack of a better way to phrase it, it's probably one of the greatest of all time. From the state of Nebraska, 4-time state champion, 3-time NCAA Division II champion, a 9-time Fargo All-American, a Greco champ, and a freestyle champ in the same year, I believe. I mean, there wasn't a lot that he didn't do, but perhaps the most impressive thing to me was his impact on the kids. The father figure to Antrell Taylor. I know he impacted the Lauritsen's, the Coils, Antoniak, Trumbull, Hamilton. I think like some of these names, like these names that are like super successful wrestlers that, like went on to do these great things in college or even in high school. Like a lot of them got their start with Todd as their coach. And that's what stands out to me. I mean, you guys feel free to add what you want. Kale, I know when we had a show a little while ago, a couple weeks ago, you asked like who was one of the bigger impacts on you, or like who was your idol as far as wrestling went. And my answer, I think, was Neely and Allgood. So they were littler guys. They were amazing wrestlers. I know Todd kind of beat up on Chris Trampy, who from our hometown, Sean's older brother.
Yeah.
Wonderful wrestler. Yeah. So like, like somebody that obviously Sean had lived with, but like I idolized in a sense. It sort of showed you how good he was and how many levels there are to the sport, because Chris Trampy was a Division II All-American, like wonderful high 4-time state finalist, like all these, things. And, then it's freaking Todd Manili. It's like, who is this guy? I remember thinking that. It was crazy. So if you guys want to add anything, go ahead. Sorry, I just
devastating loss, I think, for the whole Nebraska wrestling community, and you said it. Our condolences go out to the family, and not just the immediate family, but the wrestling family and every life that he touched along the way. So really, really tough news to hear.
Yeah, just to echo what you said, I can't really add too much, but I just wanted to say, I noticed a Facebook post today of another wrestler that he impacted that may not be the name, like the name recognition that like Hamilton and Antrell and some of those guys get from, but he also clearly impacted this wrestler. And just so clearly Todd took the time for not only the best, but also just the people that were in. It didn't matter who it was in the club that he was working with. Like, he was obviously a light to those guys from the wrestling perspective, and everybody severely impacted by it. So condolences, obviously, as well. So
Yeah. Shoot, man. Bummer.
So I guess with that, I mean, how do you try to pivot a little bit more to get back into a little bit this prep and scut duel?
Yeah, man. I mean, you don't. But he was a graduate of Omaha Scut, and Scut probably in large part due to people like Todd and maybe Casey Cole and all that. They're one of the most successful program in Class B over the last 30 years. And yeah, man. So here we have Scut, who's kind of been a mainstay in Class B for many years, against Creighton Prep, who is, I would say, a relatively new mainstay the last few seasons now to Class A, number one team versus number one team. Scut went into Creighton Prep's house last year and kind of what I wouldn't really call it like a huge upset, but they did some lineup moves and they beat Creighton Prep. And that was, I mean, I was front and center for that thing. It was surprising a little bit, but I think Creighton Prep's in a position where they can maybe do the same thing this year.
Okay.
I don't know. I don't know how in depth you guys are on those lineups. Feel free to jump in here. I think Scut will win the first. If we start at 106, I think Scut will win the first couple weights. I think Creighton Prep's in pretty dang good shape for a little while after that. When things get to 150, that's where things get really fun. That's kind of where Scut's murderers row starts. But that's where Creighton Prep's also really strong at those weights. So I think in a way that they negate basically at least bonus points, I mean, like Ziola and Ackerson's number one versus number one at 150. 157's B number one versus A number two. 165, I think, is B number one, Tyler Harrell against Navarro, who's number four in A, and a state title contender in A. And then Rotella, who's number one at 175 against Knudsen, who's a top 6 guy. And then 190's number one versus number one. So, like, how do you come out of that scoring a ton of points if you're Scut, like you normally do? You usually get out of there with at least tech falls at every weight. And now you're probably, maybe there's some bonus in there, but it's probably not likely. And then Creighton Prep will be in good shape at 215 and 285. So Scut's going to really need to. They're going to need to win all 7. They're going to need 106, 113, and they're going to need to win 50 through 90 to win that duel. That's what I think.
Wow.
So.
Yeah, it's going to be a fantastic one. Obviously, if you're in the area and you like some wrestling, you want to go see. I mean, the 2 best programs in the state right now in terms of lineups, I'm sure. And so
yeah, and Norfolk's going to be there too. It's a triangular.
Yeah. I suppose you don't want to just leave them out.
Yeah, I mean, it's overshadowed or whatever, but Norfolk's been a great team for a lot of years. I know they beat Millard South last year. They got some good individuals, and I think 144 should be good. Cam Green and Gallion out of Norfolk. That could, I think Green won 5-2, something like that. Close match before, so there's going to be some good matches across the way. It's going to be part of like Flow Wrestling's Night in America series. So it'll, if you got Flow's name on it, should be cool.
Yeah.
Should we move on to Norm Manstedt, or do you guys want to go into anything else before we do that?
Let's touch. I was kind of thinking we should touch kind of some of the other smaller events first, just before we get too heavily, because I don't want to shift from norm on the girls' side into boys' non-norm stuff. So let's go. Let's just kind of kick it off with the event we're going to be streaming on Friday for the boys, which is going to be, one of 2 tournaments, I guess. But we're going to be streaming the Burwell Invite up north in the Sand Hills. That has a number of ranked wrestlers in the field. Specifically 120 kind of looks like one of the deeper weights. 126. There's 4 ranked guys at 120, 4 ranked guys at 126. And obviously with the lineup that Burwell can put out there. Central Valley is pretty tough, and has been the last couple of years. It's not overly loaded with like ranked teams, but it's always kind of a good tournament, and competitive. 65, 75. 75 has 5 guys ranked up there, so or 4 guys.
You go 1 versus 2 at 65.
Yeah. So
some good matches at Burwell, man. They always put on a good tournament. So we're excited to be a part of that. Thank you to Burwell for having us out there. And
Team Gideon.
Yeah.
You know.
Before we go too hard into anything else, Dortch from Omaha North beat the Norfolk kid 5-2. That's what it was. And Dortch is number 1. So we're going to get a pretty good idea of how Cam Green and Dortch and Gallion all stack up on Thursday. I want to make sure.
Gotcha.
Sorry about that.
Gotcha. No, you're good.
Let's do. Okay, can we do the Norfolk? Let's get Sean in here to talk about this Columbus.
I know. I do.
The
I want to
girls tournament, because this thing is like, I don't know if I'm misremembering. I mean, it's always been good, at least the last few years, but this year's it's on another level, isn't it? It's like nothing I've ever seen.
It's silly. I mean, I don't remember the exact numbers last year, but just kind of going through and doing a little prep work for Thursday, like there's still teams entering rosters, and we're over 650 girls. Like, what the hell is that? Like, holy cow! I don't think this is ever going to get. At some point, you max out, right? There's got to maybe you don't. Maybe pretty soon you have 200 teams. That'd be pretty awesome.
That's probably about how many we have total, right?
Yeah, there's 203 teams, so you get 202 at the Manstedt, and then one lonely person on their own island. I don't know. It's insane though. 650 girls, and there's going to be scratches, whatever, but that number's probably going to be pretty close by the time things start on Thursday.
150 ranked wrestlers.
Yeah, there's more than 150 girls. Class B, over half the ranked girls are going to be competing. So my hope is that it makes my job trying to rank people a little bit easier, because I get all these head-to-head and common opponents that sort of start to work themselves out. But God, also, it's just
when you get half the ranked teams in there and over half of the ranked girls, like, it will become much easier for you.
Everything, it feels like it should, but man, nothing is easy. That's what kind of happens when you're trying to rank these girls. It's like, well, this girl pinned her, but then she lost to her backup or whatever. You know, it just gets a little bit wonky in there, and you try to justify things. So I don't know. I mean, regardless of what it does for me and helping me out, I'm just excited to watch really, really good wrestling. I'm stuck at work, and I'm a little pissed about that, but I know there will be streams on. I've got 3 computer screens at my office, and they will all be putting wrestling up in the corner, unless my boss walks behind, and I'll switch off real fast. But I'm locked in. I'm excited for all this.
Hopefully your boss isn't watching.
Yeah, well, that's the thing, is they're all behind me, so they kind of sneak up, and I'm trying real hard to get better at hiding stuff. But there's a lot to talk about, so I don't know if it's easier for me to just ramble. I have a tendency to do that, or if
let's do this.
Let's do this. I asked you a couple questions before the podcast, so that I'll kind of keep it so it's kind of flowing with what you thought. All right. About that.
That would be, again, making my job easier. That's what I'm here for.
Right. So basically, a tournament like this, usually, like, what does this tournament usually reveal that duels in smaller tournaments obviously don't? I think you kind of probably already hit on that, but
Yeah, I mean, obviously the quality is much improved, but I think the biggest thing for me, it's hard, I shouldn't say much improved, but it's deep. The biggest thing for me, though, is this is our best way to preview what the state tournament's going to look like. Some of these smaller tournaments, you can win them on depth. You can have 1 or 2 studs and then 6 girls that get in for a medal, finish 3rd, 4th, whatever, and that's enough to drive you up. Here, those 3rd and 4th place girls at most tournaments probably aren't going to reach the medal stand. It's too deep. So where do the big guns rest for each team? How high can they push themselves up on the podium? And if you're able to place at this meet, and especially if you're able to place high, top 2, 3, 4, you're a pretty significant. There's a pretty good chance you're going to be a state medalist in Omaha. So you really get a good idea of not only how teams have been to this point, but probably where they're going to be in February. It's a good measuring stick for everybody, and then every tournament is. So that just is a little bit
I think
coaching there, but
I'm going to jump in here real quick, and I think
yeah,
that's something that really makes this tournament extremely unique is the fact that they separate it
yeah,
by Class A and Class B. I think Class B they do have the option to opt up, but with what I'm seeing here and the depth in Class B, there doesn't seem to be much of an incentive to do that. So
no,
I imagine that most of these girls, like maybe like a Caden Sip will bump. I mean, like I could see maybe a few, but I mean, if you do that, then it messes up the team scores, and I really think that you're basically going to see it like kind of like cut straight. You're going to have over half of the ranked teams in Class B and over half, like in just completely
yeah,
alone, to where we know, at least for who's best this weekend, right? I think it could be completely different, weights and change and all that, but that makes this tournament extremely unique, and it's going to be pretty clear cut, at least from the competitors that are in the event afterwards.
yeah. No, I agree. I don't think there's that incentive anymore to move up and challenge yourself. Now you're getting a chance to see the other best girls, so it's kind of what you want, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I just, who has the biggest guns, the state ready guns, and how does that shake out? So looking forward to
some of these weights have 10 ranked girls.
Yeah, it's like stupid isn't the right word to use, but it's freaking stupid. This is awesome, like in the best way.
It's unheard of. There just isn't
Right.
anything like this on the boys' side of things. And I mean, how are we going to get all this done in a day?
2027, here we come. 96 of the state's best boy teams. Let's load it up.
That kind of segues into this. Like, if you had to circle 2 or 3 weights out of the gate with like first glance, like which ones are the ones that fans need to circle right away for the Manstedt?
Well, I think we can kind of keep things split between A and B. Class A, 105 stands out. If everybody's here and everybody wrestles and it competes all the way through, we get a chance to see Mara Vanderpool from Westside, Lauren Freoff and Anna Purdue, who were state finalists last year at 100, both up. Vanderpool obviously is as a finalist as well. Grand Island has Addison Gates down at 105, so that's 4 contenders right there with a chance to meet up. That's a big one for me. 125, we have the top 3 girls. It's Evie Beecher from Lincoln High, Kalia Evans of Bellevue East, and Daisy Cleveland from Norfolk are all there. But so is Jaden Jones, who is one of our top freshmen to watch. She's an outstanding talent for Omaha Westside. This is kind of the first chance to see where she stacks up against the best in Nebraska. Westside has been out of state a ton this year. It's hard to find the same kind of success when you're wrestling top level, high tier athletes week in, week out. It kind of takes a toll on your body. So hopefully she's back and healed up and ready to go. It looks like she competed tonight in the duel against Lewis Central. So I'm super curious to see kind of where she falls in with that mix, and maybe she's ahead of the pack. We'll find out. So really, really great opportunity there. One weight up, 130. Top 4 girls are there, so get a chance. Lions obviously have been phenomenal.
There's the top 4 girls are there. Yeah, no big deal.
Pretty. It's kind of standard. That's how it feels. It's like, yeah, it's not unique for one singular weight, but you have the top 4 there. Another intriguing one up at 140, Millie Jensen from Millard South has been wrestling 135 all season. She's entered at 140. I don't know if she's planning to stay up there, maybe just testing the waters, but she'll get a chance to see Lincoln East's Kira Haynes and Lincoln Southeast Ray Aldag, who are ranked 2nd and 3rd. And right now that weight's kind of like 1A, 1B, 1C for the top 3. They've had a chance to see each other a little bit. But how does Jensen stack up? She could also, again, kind of push herself to the front of that weight. 155, there's a good chance to get a rematch of last year's 170 state finals match. Addie Grazer and Fabiola Cortez from Grand Island, they have both dropped down a weight class. They went to tiebreakers to decide the championship last year. So what does this year hold? They've both been great so far, and hopefully we get a chance to see them compete on Thursday. And then the other one I like is 190. Getting a chance to see Macy Barber down there in Nebraska for the first time, hopefully. Norfolk's Beverly Bobeldike has been really, really good lately, which obviously that's a huge match for a Norfolk team looking to defend a state title. If she gets a chance to go and wrestle with that. Grand Island Senior High has Leslie Garcia, who's been wrestling JV most of the year. I don't know if she'll be entered in the varsity lineup or not, but she's a state medalist last year.
Is that a transfer thing? Didn't she transfer? I wonder if
she,
that's why
she
she's
did, but
JV.
that's what I was thinking too. But I think that should be passed by now. And she was still wrestling JV at the Kearney duel earlier this week or last week, I guess. So curious on that one. But I mean, if she's their true JV, then what a problem to have. You know what I mean? Like, it's a state medalist. That's another good one. Class A will be a lot of fun. But my God, Class B might be even better.
I think it's better. I really do.
Yeah, I might. I
This
think
is
I need a
crazy.
drink of water just from reading all those names off for A.
The top 5 teams? What
Yeah,
are
the
we
top.
doing?
It's the top 5 teams. I think there's a couple weights right now that have 10 of our 12 ranked girls entered. The thing that I hope I see before I go into weight by weight on Class B is go wrestle, compete, see where we stack up. You know, you get to the point where sometimes we're nursing injuries or we're being, on the lookout a little further down the road, and we get to a semifinal match and that's the end of our day. Man, I hope we just go out and freaking wrestle as often as we can. And that's not my call to make. That I'm a fan at this point. If I was a coach, your choices change a little bit, but God, there's so many great opportunities for great matches. I really hope we get to see a ton of those. I'll run through a couple weights in Class B and try to keep it short. 105, we have the top 3. Like I said, Haley True from JCC will be there. She moved down. She did lose a match last week. She'll maybe have a chance to avenge that. I'm curious how our new number 1, Essence Owens Webb of Pierce, formerly of Wayne, how true of a number 1 is she? She's obviously very good and an absolute contender, but hasn't had a ton of tests yet. So that'll be a fun one to kind of watch.
She finished ahead of number 2 Hoff, right?
I believe so, but I don't.
Yeah.
Did they wrestle though?
Oh man,
I don't remember. And I should know. I'm at the point of the season now, which is scary because we're only halfway done, where I've seen enough results that every time I see them, it's like in and out, and
no, they didn't.
Gone to mush.
She beat McLaughlin from Fort Calhoun in the
Gotcha.
Pierce finals, and I think McLaughlin beat Hoff. Yeah.
And then McLaughlin's actually down at 100 now.
Yep.
So. 110, another weight where we have the top 4. The biggest one there for me, if we get a chance to see it, would be Abby Nagley and Addie Darling, 2 state champions from a year ago. Freaking studs. So, they've obviously got to make it through a really tough bracket to have the chance to meet up. But if they do, there could be fireworks there. 115. One of the wrestlers that's really stood out this year has been Brinkley Lass. She's a freshman from Battle Creek, has a hit list of a ton of great wrestlers, and she's not going out and, catching somebody or getting a pin against a girl where maybe she wasn't the better wrestler. She's won a ton of like 3-1, 1-0 close matches. And what better way to get prepared to go chase a state title, than competing against the best, but for 6 minutes. It's been awesome. So 115 will be a big one.
I want to say something because that was one of the key points that I was talking about with Drew over the weekend and like at the Winnebago Invite was watching the girls grind out a full match in some cases in OT. You kind of mentioned Aisley Hoff, like the Aisley Hoff Haley True match went into OT, and just watching those two not concede position. Yeah, like even like when somebody tried to get in on a shot and it was kind of a half attempt and kind of get stuck underneath.
Fast, right. Yeah.
And they were still facing underneath, to not concede position on a go behind. And it was just like, that was all that was kind of the moment that all I had to see was like, okay, like they understand the urgency. Like that was what was awesome. And so you're talking about these long grindy matches. That's the most impressive thing to me. Like, is you're seeing more of it. It's not just pins all over the place.
Well, I'm going to do real quick. We were talking about Brinkley last and grinding out those wins. In the quarterfinals at Winnebago, 3-0. Semifinals, 4-1. Championship match, 1-0.
Yeah.
Decision.
Incredible. I mean,
those are grinder battles. I mean, I got to be sore after winning 4 or 5 matches in a day, like full 6 minutes.
And it's not just any match. These are state semifinal caliber matches, one after another. I mean, it's It's been so impressive. So I'm excited.
It was interesting. I mean, gosh, I know we're talking about Manstedt, but that bracket at Winnebago was nuts because when I witnessed Oleg Mueller beat Luna, and then I just assumed, like, I didn't know who was on the other side. I just assumed that Oleg Mueller was going to win the Winnebago Invite, and then she gets beat 1-0 in the finals to last. So, like, I mean, man.
Yeah,
like,
there were some brackets.
I can't wait. I cannot wait for Thursday, dude. I can't.
Well, I envy you, man. Like I said, I'm very, very disappointed to miss. I think I might call in sick and sneak down. I won't, because I'm a people pleaser and I feel bad to let anybody down. I'll keep moving through real quick. 125 and 130, we have the top two girls there at each weight. Interestingly enough, Lakeview has a girl in each of those. So 125, Emma Glendy and Felicia Kirkman from Westholt could potentially be a state finals preview. Like I said, they got big brackets to work through. 130, we talked about Grace Druke from O'Neill earlier. She'll get a chance to see Meredith Bargan of Lakeview, another phenomenal wrestler. That's one of those brackets, though, where to even get the chance to meet, they've got to navigate through a ton. That's one that has 10 ranked girls in it. 135 also has 10 ranked girls in it. And, man, talk about a finals match there. It could be a rematch at Winnebago. Both Campbell and Hansen right now are entered at 135. So if they can find their way to the finals and get a chance to wrestle again, let's see if either Campbell can avenge a loss or Hansen can kind of solidify herself up there. But that'll be a big one. 145, I'm curious. Our top three are there. Taylor Allman of Battle Creek's rated first. Third, I have Bethany Arns from Crofton Bloomfield. They've split this year. And in between them is Peyton Whited from Ord. And I'm really curious to see where she fits in with that group. She has a win over Megan Jones from Ainsworth, who beat Arns. That's why she kind of sits in the middle. But, is she number one? I don't know.
Is Arns the girl that was in the state finals a year ago?
No, I think it's her cousin.
Oh, okay.
I thought they were sisters. They're not sisters.
Relatives.
Relatives.
I don't know why I said sister so confidently. I didn't know.
You just kind of assume, right? Like, well, here's part of the reason is there are like 9 girls in that Arns family, the one that Riley was in, and they're all phenomenal athletes. You got a younger sister that's a freshman cross-country runner that, Drew, you'll probably be able to rate the list a little bit better than Kale as a former runner. I don't think she was above 18 minutes all year for girls.
Thanks.
5K.
Jeez.
Yeah, it's I've used the word stupid to describe good things multiple times, but that anyway, we're on a wrestling podcast, so let's jump back into that. And then, good God, man, 170. The top 5 girls are there. Defending champion Kursavi from Arcadia Loop City will be there. She's our current number 1. Emma Fennessy of Lakeview's number 2. But the one that I'm really excited to see how she performs is Isabel Fuller from Pierce. She's been 155 her whole career, moved up to 170 this year, and has been a stud, kind of killing everybody in her path so far. Where does she really stack up? And is there a chance for her to go get a title? Just behind her, you've got Elizabeth DeRoos of Crofton Bloomfield, Libby Evans of Elgin Public, Pope John. So you have 5 superstars all in one place, and that's leaving out other girls that are state medal contenders that can fit into that bracket as well. So just a ton of great wrestling to watch individually through those brackets to kind of see where people stand out. We'll know a hell of a lot more on Friday about what February will look like. Not everything, obviously, and you said it earlier, and we'll see where everybody is right now. But it should go a long way in helping us kind of project what will happen on the individual side of things. So should be great.
So do you so like in class A specifically, you have West Side, you have Norfolk, how much can Millard South push those two teams?
Yeah, Millard South they've got the guns to do that. Millie Jensen getting back in the lineup is going to be a big deal. Up at 140 could maybe even be a bigger deal for them if she turns out to be the front runner maybe for a state title. Ella Casey at 115 is a freshman who's been a superstar this year, and she's going to compete for a high state medal. Kamaya Hobson at 170 is another girl that's, with Grazer going down, that 170 kind of opens up. Maybe she's a title contender, and you start stacking those type of kids up. In Omaha, you perform really well. In a meet like this, you're going to perform very well. they're one of those teams though that does kind of have that lower end isn't the right word, but kind of that mid to upper tier depth where they've got girls all throughout the lineup that are going to go and push and compete to be medalists here that maybe are at that state medal level, but maybe just below. If they can get the most out of their lineup, they can push here, both of these teams, and maybe both Norfolk and West Side, and maybe find a way to kind of steal a title here. But I don't know if they have every piece in place that they need, but we'll find out Thursday.
Yeah, a lot of girls out.
Well, the thing that I saw about Millard South at Winnebago is like they are all like, it felt like everybody that was taking the mat, they were all put together. Like,
yeah,
they're very athletic.
They got 120. This Olivia Mosbach is like jacked. I'm like, geez.
Yeah, I mean,
I'm scared to meet these kids in the alley,
So how about
Olivia's not too bad. Her grandparents live across the street from me, so.
Oh, nice.
She's a good kid. She's a good kid.
In class
don't hit her
B,
in the back at state duels because.
Yeah. So Class B, Adams Central obviously is your big juggernaut. How much do they get pushed on their?
That's a good question. Obviously, we'll find out. One, how real are they? They again have won a ton of tournaments with a lot of that depth. For them, though, that depth really is probably state medal caliber. I think they've got 10 ranked girls in the most recent rankings, which is, I'm not going to say stupid again, but God, it's pretty impressive. But then you get Battle Creek, you get West Holt, teams that are really going to be able to push hard, high up at the state tournament. Lakeview is another one of those. I don't know, but I'm really curious to see who's got the biggest horses in this type of race. I still think Adams Central is probably our favorite here, and probably a little significantly, but I could be wrong in a way. I kind of hope I am, not to their detriment, but just to see like where everybody else really is really gonna give them the best push. Who am I missing? UTAN obviously has been a stellar team the last few years. They're there again. They've got really, really great girls. Hopefully they have them all healthy, all ready to go, and they could be a team that pushes for a high finish and maybe even a championship in this type of meet as well.
Mm-hmm.
It's just going to be awesome. You guys, it's on a freaking Thursday. If you're not subscribed, what are you doing? Just watch some of this, especially like Thursday afternoon when the later rounds get going. You're not going to be disappointed. It's going to be phenomenal wrestling. What else better do you have to do? Nothing. Not a darn thing.
Yeah.
Hey, yeah, get your subscriptions in now, man. These next 2 months are huge. So if you don't want to be there all year, man, these are the best 2 months.
Yeah, spend $30 and you're going to get everything. The district previews are coming soon too. Okay. Anyways, and then right. Let's be real here before we move on. I mean, there's the Manstedt girls tournament is Thursday. It's literally the coolest thing in girls wrestling besides state probably this year, and maybe the state duels. It's on Thursday. There's going to be some more tournaments this weekend. Haven't even really got that far. I think Beatrice has one. North Star maybe.
Yeah, North Star's got one. I think Dundee County has one, and I believe they're a first-year program, so that's an inaugural tournament. I need to go back and double-check, but that's kind of cool. Omaha Northwest hosts one. What else? EMC duels, I believe, go on.
Yeah, I saw that. There's
I haven't had a chance to look too far ahead. I've been a little consumed with all the things that had happened in the past week and are happening in the next couple of days that just getting over the hump and into the rest of the weekend is going to take a minute. But
get the rankings and the recaps done for over 200 teams, man. And then we go right into the Manstedt. I don't know how you do it, bro, but hopefully everyone appreciates what Sean does for the state of wrestling and for these girls that you're appreciated, man. You do great work.
I appreciate that. It's a lot, but it's a lot of fun also. So I'll leave it at that. But
wouldn't expect anything less from a trampy, right?
Yeah,
sure.
All right, are we gonna go Do you want to go?
Well, just one
ahead.
thing, like when it comes to the boys side of things this weekend, at least there's a handful of dual tournaments this weekend that help shape up the picture for. I mean, we just put out our dual rankings last week, and so obviously that kind of clears up some pictures, hopefully with some certain duels going on, and just getting that picture be painted clear. St. Paul's hosting their dual tournament. I know that the Wilbur duels are going on. EMC duels are going on. So
EMC is huge. EMC is like it's probably going to be make or break for some of those teams who are pretty dang good contenders.
Mm-hmm.
I think Bennington. I would say now, not to discount any other team, Bennington's probably going to be a relatively safe favorite there. Even they've had a few guys missing from their lineup. I don't think it's going to matter. I'm excited to see how things shake out between Blair, Elkhorn North, Gretna East, Hastings, and Waverly.
Yeah.
So we'll see kind of how I think Waverly probably emerges there based off of their win over Beatrice, but Gretna East is a really strong team. Hastings from like 126 on up is pretty good. They have a few open spots in the lower part of their lineup, but it also depends on who's healthy.
Mm-hmm.
Like some guys are still coming back from injuries. Maybe not everyone's at weight, and I don't know. But EMC should be pretty impactful.
Yeah. So,
what's going on at the St. Paul and Wilbur duels? Are those?
It's not like crazy. They're not crazy anymore. I know that like Wilbur's kind of taken a step back a little bit from a couple teams exiting out to get into the Central City Invite the next day to wrestle a tournament instead of a dual tournament. Like Raymond Central comes to mind. I know Logan View is into the Manstedt now, but Raymond Central used to go to Wilbur Claytonia. Now they're at Central City, and there's been some other shuffling around there. But it does. I mean, it's just the points. Like going from a 2 to a 3 and giving those PowerPoint differentials to certain teams, and you know what I mean. So at St. Paul, you do have Donovan, St. Paul, and then Crofton Bloomfield got their heavyweight back, and Tyson
St.
Sanger.
Paul and Donovan Troy. That should be a great one. Yeah,
and actually, I mean, there's some good kids here. It's 175 is going to be fun there. They have 1 and 4, Alex Meineke and Brock Genitow from St. Paul, Crofton, Bloomfield, respectively, and then B6 Conrad Kuzelka is also there from Fairbury. That'll be good, and this is going to be full on round robin because there's only 5 teams there, and then 215 is kind of good because there's 4 guys there too. Ramirez Aguilar from Gibbon, McKenna, who dropped down from 285 to 215 for Donovan's there. Sanger's back in the lineup for Crofton. He's number 8. And then Garrett Rolfs from Fairbury is also there, who's ranked 10th in B.
This is going to be a good, I mean, just kind of scrolling through everything here that we have for boys. I mean, even outside of Manstedt, we got some really good tournaments. Do you want to do Manstedt first, or should we dive into these?
Well, I kind of price save Manstedt for last, because I think because Central City is going to be a good tournament.
Okay, I'm gonna go fast here because we were sort of talking about Burwell. So we're on Friday. We've done Wilbur a little bit, and then St. Paul duels, EMC duels is big. Ashland Greenwood's got a couple big matches. Millard West, Cody, we'd be remiss if we didn't mention these Class A tournaments on Friday, now that Cody's not here. So Millard West and North Star both have a couple good events.
A lot of ranked dudes in Millard West.
Yeah, and North Star is good. We're going to, Scott's going to North Star this year. So they have prep on Thursday, and then they're wrestling at North Star on Friday. And I'm excited about when you start getting Scott in state, things get exciting because they basically are out of state the whole first semester, and now you're going to get to see Christo, who's number 1 at 157 against Grant Moss, who's number 3, who had that big win over Nuttleman. And I feel like 157 right now in Class B is one of those weights where it's like, Christo's great. Nuttleman's a returning runner-up. Grant Moss is a returning medalist. And so there's going to be guys that have a chance to sort of, stake a claim to that weight. Alan Diaz from Lexington staying up there too, I think, instead of going down to 57 like we originally thought. So yeah, North Star should be good. Millard West, you mentioned lots of ranked guys. I know that Townsley from Millard West at 13 wants another matchup with Callaway. Callaway kind of ran away with that first one, but Townsley's a scrapper, man. I think it'll be a little closer. Be great to see Dorch back for Omaha North. He hasn't wrestled for a little while, and that he did have that close match with Gallion from Norfolk, who's number 3 in A. So Gallion's going to get number 2 on Thursday, and then potentially number 1 on Friday. And then that's just obviously a brief little touch on those tournaments. We're going to have it all in our preview, guys, if you want to read through and see who's in these weights. Okay, Saturday. You were talking about Central City. Dive into that one.
Central City, obviously, I gotta scroll back down because I was kind of following along with you. Central City obviously hosts their own tournament, long-standing tournament. Aurora is there, Minden is there, St. Paul, after wrestling their dual tournament, is there. Actually, a couple of these guys, these teams that wrestled the night before, St. Paul, Fairbury, Milford's at the Wilbur Claytonia duels. They turn around and wrestle the next day here at Central City. But like at 132 specifically at Central City, you have B number 1 Logan Svoboda and D number 1 Uriel Guzman, and then also you throw in Lane Baker of St. Paul, who has slid in the rankings after the Wood River Invite, but was number 3 at one point, and I think and at that weight in Class C, there's a lot
I'm
of dudes
excited for Guzman and Svoboda. That could be good. Like Guzman won that. They wrestled last season. Guzman won. Yeah, and I think they're both undefeated, so that would be cool.
Yeah, there's ranked wrestlers all over the place in this. So like who knows? The one thing that I'm kind of curious about specifically regarding any teams at Central City is Minden at 190. Is Cale Smith going to be in the lineup yet? He has yet to wrestle this year. He's ranked number 3. Just knowing what he's capable of and with what 190 is showing us yet this year, like he's one of those kids that's kind of waiting in the unknown right now because he hasn't wrestled. But I think he kind of asserts himself as that, and then that same group as Fitzke and the kid from Superior, Boyles. Personally, so 190 is going to be good. Already said 75. 285, Owen Kuchar. I don't know how you pronounce that, from Crofton. Obviously said he comes back, but he's going to be thrown right in there with B3 Garrett Schoen from Milford, C2 from Lukemeyer from Minden. He's coming back and didn't wrestle much before the break, and so we'll see how that works out for him. We used to go there when I was at Hershey and Logan View. We went to this tournament, so I'm very familiar with it, and it's always a great environment, especially in their new facility. Like, it's fantastic.
The Bison Dome.
Yeah.
Okay, so a couple other Saturdays. Beatrice has their home invite. 144 has the potential to be pretty good with Higdon and Campbell, and Harrison Alley and Finley Omar, the 2 freshmen. 157, Grant Moss could get another big matchup with Alan Diaz. So we could find out sort of, back-to-back days here, kind of how things are going to be rankings-wise in Class B between Moss and Christo, and then Moss and Diaz. Back-to-back potential matchups. Never know for sure if those things are going to happen or not. Aquinas has a great tournament Cedar Catholic and Donovan Trumbull and Aquinas and Twin River, who's kind of a new team to kind of keep an eye on in D. They got 3 or 4 pretty solid guys. Several good weights. We're getting to the point where
SCOTUS is there too.
SCOTUS. Several good weights. Everyone's probably getting tired of listening to us talk and go through all these things, but we love wrestling and we're excited about it. It is cool, to see some of these matches at like Aquinas. I know 120 is a really stacked weight. You're going to get a mixture of Class D guys and Class C guys, and if anything, it'll help us for the all class.
6 ranked dudes there at 120. Yeah. There's a number of them. I mean, just multiple 4 or 5 dudes ranked at each weight class. Feels like here.
Amherst is going to be good on Saturday. There's going to be some ranked D schools there, including top ranked Plainview, and then obviously Amherst is going to be right in the thick of things there. Couple good matchups. 215 looks pretty solid at that one. Even like some of the smaller tournaments, a little one like Tri-County, you got number 1 in Class C Luke Farman against number 3 in Class B Jack Lindy. So there's good matchups across the board. We're gonna have them all listed out for you guys.
Yeah.
So
the one thing you notice here is like a lot of people choose to double up on this weekend. A lot of teams do. I mean, you're reading through some of these names. It's like I just read that name on a Friday tournament. So like, there's a ton of double up tournaments here.
Mm-hmm.
Gotta get that district rehearsal in, man. Back to back days and all that. Yeah.
January just gets to be so hard. Like the weather sucks. Not today it doesn't, but like the weather kind of sucks, and everyone's got a little something lingering around, and you start doubling up on tournaments. So, props to the kids, grind through it. If you can wrestle, go wrestle. We want to see these good matches. Just like you said earlier, Sean, let's wrestle. Let's end this thing with the Manstedt. We're already over an hour.
Let's jump in. Let's go.
Yep.
Let's go.
I haven't looked at the boys very much. I've been,
Yeah, I don't know, man.
I have not even dug into it. I don't have any opinion for you guys other than more good wrestling, more opportunities to watch online and kind of follow along. And for me, like, I need to get a little more well-versed in the boys. I spent a lot of years coaching it. Now I feel like I don't know who anybody is anymore besides the top 3 or 4 names you always hear. So it'd be a good chance for me to sit back and enjoy a little bit of wrestling and without having to think too much.
So
it's crazy because I'm just going to say it right out of the gate, 103 ranked wrestlers on the boys side of things here too. And if you go down, when you read our preview, I mean, you're going to see 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 freaking wrestlers ranked at each weight class. Like,
yeah, wow.
It's absolutely bonkers. I know that, there's 6 guys ranked at 190 and 5 guys ranked at 215, and that because the other classes are so inflated with ranked wrestlers, it makes it look like 90 and 215 are not tough, and that's obviously not the case.
Wow.
So
no, I think the other weight classes just have longer names, so it takes up more page.
Yeah.
Wow.
It's cool. They've added number of teams. Kale, you mentioned Logan View, Elm Creek. I mean, I don't know. I get excited about the tournaments where you get all 4 classes represented.
Yeah.
We can really go into detail here, but do you guys have like a favorite match that you're looking forward to on paper here?
I mean, I guess like if you just like, I want to see how Darren Dozler at 165, how he competes again after he kind of handled Brady Hochstein at Newman Grove. I mean, that was a 7-2 match, so obviously in control. Like, how does that match up in a matchup with? And I don't know the seeding and how it's going to shake out, but he's like, win or if he gets to wrestle Ryder Cruz from Lincoln East, win or if he gets to wrestle Emmett Dirks from York, et cetera, et cetera. The cross class thing is always the most exciting to me. Like, how does Class D stack up with Class C and C with B and B, and vice versa, and everything in between. So like that would be my first one that jumps off the page to me.
For me, like any match that Colton Tucker wrestles, I saw him wrestle like maybe twice in my life, and they've both been super exciting matches. So that's my dude.
I'm curious to see how the Will Rathjen from North Platte. He was solid at the prep tournament. I'm curious to see if he can maybe give Tucker a run in that weight class. Wood 57. I know Mason Peterson's going to be like a big time favorite to win, but the quality of wrestler at that weight is just crazy. Ingwerson from Lincoln East, Brendan Bowling, state champion from Pierce. Number 3 Burdick, maybe I don't think he's been wrestling very much.
He's not entered. He's not entered.
Number 4 Devin Nuttleman from York, state finalist. Valentine from David City's really good. So that's a nice weight class, and I mean, 150, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 wrestlers ranked at 150. I think you have all 4 classes represented there. Maybe
there's 11. There's 11 at 150.
Yeah, I mean that's okay. 11. Just who's counting?
Can't
count very well, but I mean that's just awesome. I mean, like these. It's just
here's
gonna be
another
a fun
one.
event.
Here's another one.
Ooh,
138. 138. Cash Watson's back for Broken Bow. Like he missed some time, and obviously like him. Is there going to be any rust after missing 3 weeks or whatever it's been, 4 weeks? So Hayden Schmidt from David City, who's number 1. Then you have a former Class C wrestler who's been at Lincoln East the last couple of years, and Sean Stanton, and then Cash Watson,
Stanton's
Ashton
good, man.
Kuhar.
Stanton was hurt a little last year, and I think he's pretty healthy this year. He's gonna be in the thick of that thing, I think.
The other question is Goebel good to go here at 120 for Syracuse?
Man, I hope he is.
Yeah.
I don't know, man. I don't know what they're. I mean, obviously, he didn't wrestle in Wood River, right? I don't think.
I don't think so. No.
Okay, so it's been a while, and like, do you want to?
And he didn't wrestle at Logan View either.
If you're injured, right? Yeah. So he's been out for a while. So if you're injured, he's been out since week 2. So if you're injured, and it's bad enough to miss those tournaments where he probably would have breezed through, or at least been the heavy favorite, do you want to go in and wrestle number 3A Matty Marco, number 3C Ryan Haney, Frostwell? I mean, they're like, again, just another loaded weight full of kids. I want to see Brock wrestle because he's a really great wrestler, but I mean, maybe you don't do that. Don't know.
Yeah. Now there's a handful of names here too, like Madison's lineup. I know we haven't really mentioned them much at all this year, but like, we have Francisco Juan Lucas rated number 4 at 13, but he has been at 120 all year. Like we think that they're dropping, so maybe they dropped to this. I mean, we haven't seen any entries, so like maybe that he's dropping to 13. His teammate Kevin Pedraza is also another one that he's been up at 32. And so is he going to make his way down to 26 yet? But I mean, regardless of where they're at, they're just, if they are up a weight still, then that just bolsters those weights obviously too. So,
gosh, did we miss anything? Who's going to win the team race? Who's going to win that?
Well, I'd probably have to go with one of the Class A's, either Columbus or Lincoln East, right?
Yeah, I think so.
I mean, that's probably where you look first.
I'm curious to see what weight Justin Delano's at, because he's been at 90 all year. If he's at 90, it would be him against Vitsky maybe. That Reese Perry from North Platte's pretty good too.
Yeah, Reese is going to say that. Yeah.
I assume Delano will be at 75. I think we've all been assuming that. Maybe that's not the case. Maybe he wants a piece of JT Smith at 190 in Class A. But if he's at 75, I mean, he's got B number 2, B number 3, C number 3. So there's going to be good matches there. I mean, those are the types of weights that sort of determine the team race too.
Right. Yeah, the really deep ones in comparison with some that are not so much.
So my prediction is Columbus, because that's their home city. Going to have the home crowd. Lincoln East second, York 3rd, Battle Creek 4th, Pierce 5th. Final answer. I'm done. See you guys.
That's pretty good.
I asked ChatGPT. You want my answer from them?
Yeah, sure. Let's see it.
Yeah, Lincoln East, Columbus, Battle Creek. There's all sorts of narratives, and I'm not going to read them. They're very
okay. Well, sorry, I don't lean on AI to make my decisions. We need to come back to this though and see if I'm right or ChatGPT's right. Because if ChatGPT can beat me at wrestling stuff, then what am I even doing?
That's a good point.
It's like was that John Henry versus the steam engine or steam powered drill, whatever the heck that story was.
Yeah.
Man versus machine, dude.
Yeah.
Dude, it's I'm just absolutely so happy that Girls Thursday, the 2-day boys tournament, and I get to be front row for all of it. I will be there all 3 days.
Dude,
actually, I will be there tomorrow helping set up too. So
the Manstedt's a special tournament. It's a special tournament.
My first time ever being there.
I think. So. Hey, I hope it's okay. I think Millard South might go there next year. If that's okay to say. Sorry if I shouldn't have, Nate. But
it's not. Then you just didn't say it. It's simple.
Yeah. I didn't say it.
Okay, I'll edit that.
All right.
What is there anything before we call it? Like anything else that we missed? Or I mean, we didn't really go too deep into last week. Read the reviews. We're gonna probably do new rankings every week in January, with the exception of 1 week. There's going to obviously be enough that goes down this weekend to do new ones, but we also sort of want to give time to everyone who's descending and that hasn't wrestled yet to wrestle. But eventually we're going to start taking those people out. Like, if we're going to take the guesswork out of it and say, oh, we think this guy's going down. Nope. If here in a few weeks, if they haven't been down to weight or haven't wrestled, then they're probably going to get out of the lineup unless we have a concrete, or get out of the rankings unless we have like a concrete deal, something from a coach saying he's back this day or whatever.
Had a comment that says, obviously probably want to just shout out Millard South's going to Cheesehead, obviously in Wisconsin. And then Grand Island and Scott are in Atlantic, Iowa. So Kearney's out in Colorado.
Oh, the Roland Dyer. I forget. Okay, yeah.
So
I wonder if that's Scott's varsity. It should be, right? North Star. They changed their schedule. Scott changed their schedule this year. So who knows?
Well, there was 1 year, my first year at Logan View, Scott came to Central City with their varsity.
Yeah. How'd that go for you?
Well, they got like 9th. So
not bad then.
Yeah.
What place did Logan
View get? I don't know, top 3, I think. That was the year we were 5th at the state tournament.
Oh, it's a good year.
Do a little research, Drew. Jeez.
Yeah, come on. Freaking guru.
Sorry, my bad. I mean, it is almost midnight here, guys.
Well, I didn't know who anybody was because we were all in masks, so.
Oh, my God.
Okay. Yeah, Lincoln East beat, or Kearney went to Lincoln East and beat Lincoln East on the stage duel tonight. The Lincoln East stage duel.
Nice.
I think it was the stage duel. But it wasn't close, so Kearney
next week
got it done.
Next week is Columbus, Norfolk, I think, that we were invited to go see because of the claim you made with Kearney having the best duel environment. Key Sweater told us to make sure we went and come check that out. So
yeah, we need
Cody
to get healthy and start going to some tournaments. So Cody, heal up, man. We need you.
We love you, Cody.
The girls, another dual result. I'm just trying to think of a couple things. West Side and
Lewis Central.
What?
And Lewis Central, the girls. That was a stage duel at Lewis Central. Pictures looked really cool. That was a tie that Lewis Central had less forfeits, so they won the duel on criteria. I don't think Westside was without Macy Barber for sure. So
yeah,
but awesome duel. Lewis Central is a top 5 program in Iowa, and Westside is a top 2 or 3 dual team in Nebraska. So pretty good stuff for them.
Apparently, Kearney Catholic beat Central City tonight in a duel, 49-30. So there's that too. I have not looked into that, but that's a result that just came in to my information.
You know what's obviously Central City's really good. It hurts them that they don't have guys, and like they don't have the middle lineup.
They don't have the depth.
Yeah.
Yeah, like they've got guns, and then they have some gaps in their lineup that just they don't have much they can do with.
I mean, who would have saw that one coming though?
No, not by that margin.
Good job, Kearney Catholic. Nice work.
Yeah, nice job.
Shout out to the Stars, man.
I'm about to go look at some Stars, guys. I'm tired.
Yep. All right. Well, thank you for tuning in and sticking with us for another longer than we anticipated podcast.
Can we even say that anymore at this point? Like, I think
it's just pretty much the par for the course at this point. Thank you again. I'm going to probably start saying this every week. Thank you again to those of you who subscribe to Rockfin to not only watch our events, but also read the analysis that we provide, get your rankings from there, and just overall like want to support what we're doing. I mean, our goal is to just continue to get bigger and better, and the reason why we're able to do it is because of people like you who support us on the site, people like Joe Schluckabeer who support a podcast, which is a new thing for us, and we're still trying to get better about this and do some things. So if you guys have suggestions for us as far as what you want to see on here, we can definitely switch it up a little bit. We don't have to do the recaps and the preview only. We can talk about lots of other things. There's plenty to discuss. We can get into some cool questions and some quick hitters again, like we sort of did those first few. But with that, I'm done. Kale, Sean, want to close her out?
I'll just thank you guys for tuning in and for all the support you guys give us throughout the season, and see you at the next tournament, I suppose.
Yep, we'll see you guys next week. And if you're at the Manstedt, come hit me up, chit chat us a little bit. Obviously, I'll be there a long time, so lots of
3 great days of wrestling, though.
Lots of opportunity to come talk to Street Dog. So,
hey, grabber 275.
All right.
All right. Later, y'all.
See ya.